everybody, welcome back into the House of L. I am joined today by my friend Justin from the Epic Film Guys and the Burton Batcave. How are you, sir?
I am absolutely wonderful. I'm glad to be back. We've been trying to figure out a way, or a reason, I should say, rather, to get me back on.
Yeah.
So I'm glad there was some news worthy of my presence to be back.
We don't need a reason, but you know, it was good to have something to discuss other than just how are things? How you been?
Yeah,
What's going on? Because it's been, I guess the last time we talked, Superman had not even come out yet, so it's been a minute.
That's right.
So
almost not really almost
not
a year.
really a
It was
year,
like
but
spring-ish.
yeah, I think it was April or May. We were ramping up, but there has been some Batman talk this week. I guess both in the positive and negative camps, depending on what side of the internet you're on. I try to stay off the internet as much as humanly possible. But you know, I liked when the internet was that place you went to in the corner in the computer, and then you could leave it at a certain point of the day. You didn't have to carry it around with you at all times.
The old days. Those days are gone.
Yes, they
Far
are.
past.
I guess out of the gate, it sounds like the definitive answer on whether or not Sweat's Superman and Pattinson's Batman were ever going to be a thing together. It sounds like the kibosh has finally been put on that.
I mean,
this week
hasn't Gunn already said no like 5 times? Though?
Yes. In his cheeky way, I guess. I think this is the first time it was ever just an outright no. I think
I think he's just really. I mean, he's probably sick of hearing about it, but I'll say this about James: he's great at communicating with the fans.
He is.
Part of me feels like, man, just go make the movies.
Just stay off of threads. Just stay off the threads.
Yeah, because I'm like, he's dwelling somewhere tonight. Like, I get it. Like, we're in this world now where we're all on our phones, and I think in his free time, he's one of those people that wants to see what the fans are saying, and also with the misinformation that's been spread consistently.
Right.
I just had to debunk somebody on Instagram last night that said something about along the lines that Samara Weaving is going to play Harley Quinn in the Batman 2, and I said no, she's not.
Hadn't heard that. Okay.
I said, what source did you what? And you have they made a graphic in AI, and so we're at that point now where there's it's so easy to fool people and get 10,000 likes, but I think James, considering how much weight is on his shoulders, maybe pull back a little bit. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's good, though, that he's being transparent and letting people know. Also, on top of letting people know that Brave and the Bold will not be a major focus until after the Batman Part 2 is already out. In terms of, I don't know if they're going to cast their Batman before that or not, but it sounds like he's saying, we're not going to talk about that until after that. So.
Yeah. Keep the spotlight on Reeves, on Pattinson, and then be removed. Which, I mean, to a degree, I get, because we have had that. It has been the go-to thing to go to the Batman, or to go to Batman, I guess, and pull him in so early into whatever iteration we're going for. So they are taking a detour this time. We did see that glimpse of him in Creature Commandos, so we know he's out there.
Right.
Somewhere.
He's there somewhere. Right?
Yeah.
We don't know who he's going to be in physical form yet.
Right.
And when people ask me my opinion on that, I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. You know, I don't really have a dog in that fight quite yet. There's the fan art for people's favorite actors, and not all of them are bad choices or anything like that. But I just, honestly, part of me just kind of wants to have the Batman 2 first. Yeah. Because it was promised to us.
And it's been so long.
And I'm excited for what the future holds. But listen, I'm in my early 40s. I don't know if I'm going to live until we see that movie. I don't know if I'm going to be alive then, but I know I'll probably live long enough to see the Batman 2. So I'm like, let me at least get through that, please.
I almost made the joke when you said it was coming after. I almost made the joke. Hey, the Batman actor may not even be born yet. I mean, it's not until 2027.
It's entirely possible. But I also understand the perspective of not having too much Batman at once, and allowing Reeves' movie, since it was promised to him and that's part of their deal, let that movie come out. There's a lot of anticipation for it, and see what he's cooking up. I mean, I mean, in terms of cast that we've heard so far, and Sebastian Stan as Harvey Dent and Scarlett Johansson, and I'm getting excited to see what he's going to do with it.
Yeah, when you pull in names like that and characters like that, we did Harvey briefly with Aaron Eckhart and The Dark Knight there, and I don't really, I mean, outside of Tommy Lee Jones and Billy D. Williams, who we never got to see make the transition into Two-Face, it's something that hasn't been touched on the big screen. So I'm interested to see where they go with that, or if he's even Two-Face in this movie, if that's building up towards something for the
Yeah,
trilogy.
I mean, we still don't even know who the main villain of that movie is yet.
Right.
We don't know anything about that. We just know who the returning actors are. And then
Mhm.
even when Paul Dano today, I mean, as this day that we're recording is asked in an interview, uh, I don't know. I can't say yet.
Oh, I
So
hadn't seen that. Okay.
yeah, it was in an interview. I think they asked him in part when they were asking him about how does it feel to have Quentin Tarantino shit all over your whole
Yeah.
career,
Yeah.
and then they probably asked him about the Batman too, just because why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? You've got him
Yeah.
there. Yeah, absolutely. I'm very hopeful for Brave and the Bold. I think that's something deeper you and I can get into here in a minute. But uh, I, to your point, yeah, that Reeves being promised part two, all of us being promised part two. By the
Yeah.
time 2027 hits, it'll have been 6 years. Is that right? Was it 21?
Yeah, I think
That sounds
so.
right. Yeah. So
I'm
6
starting I'm
years.
starting yeah, because I'm thinking, "Oh my god, has it been that long?
Well,
Holy."
it's crazy because you still, I mean, COVID, I'm like, yeah, that was last year. No, that was 6 years ago now, or nearly. So yeah, it's a little harrowing to think about. And every time it gets delayed a little bit more, I feel like part of me dies inside. I'm like, none of us are getting any younger. Like to your point, now. So if we're going to do this, we need to move. And I hate that I hit 40, and I was like, now I have to think about movies in terms of how old I'll be when they come out.
Yeah, I've always been under the impression, and I've always said this very publicly, usually after I've had a few shots at the bar and I'm getting a little
Mhm.
riled up, I'm like, "I'll be 65 watching the 5th Batman reboot in theaters," and it's probably true, I probably will be, which
And
is
that
totally
actor and
fine
that
by
actor
me.
will have not been born yet.
That's
I
right.
will guarantee you that
Yeah.
actor has not been born yet that will play that role. It is weird too also, I got this with Corn Sweat, but now having actors portray these roles and then being younger than us is a really odd thing for me. I don't know about you, but, I look up growing up and watching Keaton and Reeve, they just seemed so much older, and now to be, at that same age or older and
I mean,
watching younger
how
people
old is
portray.
Pattinson? Pattinson's, like, I think 1 year younger than me, so he was the I'm
That's a good
pretty
question.
sure
Let's see.
he's 41 now, or is he
That
still in his
sounds
30s?
right. I think he's 39.
Oh, okay. So,
Wow.
well,
He's
I knew
exactly, to the day, a year younger than me. I had no
so
idea. Okay.
he was the first Batman that I ever experienced cinematically. Actually, that's wrong. Affleck is older than me. So, he was the fir he
Mhm.
was the f he was they're all older until Pattinson. He was the first Batman that was younger than me.
I think
So,
Hecklin I can't remember how old Tyler Hecklin is, but I think he's fairly close, so that didn't feel as weird, but then Corn Sweat being a good bit younger, I was like, this is I'm not used to this yet. It's a weird thing." And then to think like, we're older now than Keaton was,
yeah,
in
we are.
'89 or even
We are.
'92 is
That's true. That's true.
bonkers.
I mean, it's funny to think back then. I mean, would they have cast someone in their piece? I mean, they might
Oh,
have.
yeah,
Some of
yeah,
the people they were looking at were older than Keaton even,
right.
so it's entirely possible, but thinking in the long term, it makes way more sense to cast someone in their late 20s, early 30s, depending on what, time frame you're trying to do your Batman or Superman. Still contend that Gordon Sweat was the perfect choice for Superman, and,
Yeah,
I stand by that today, especially after seeing the movie a number of times, and I'm sure you can agree on that based on
yeah,
what I've seen. We've talked about it kind of behind the scenes, but we never
right.
actually did we were going to try to do like a follow-up episode to talk about the movie and just never happened. I mean, you
My
obviously
best laid plans never seem to turn out right.
but I covered it enough. I covered it enough,
Yeah,
and it was one of my favorite things of last year
yeah.
was getting that pull quote for Superman, which was like a
That's
dream
right, you
come true.
did.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
when you do the film critic thing, you're like, it's cool when you get it for movies you like and
Right.
that are good and have people involved, but I'll never forget, just as a quick tidbit, seeing it early and then posting my thoughts on it, and then I couldn't sleep. I was like a kid in a
Mhm,
candy store, just like
mhm.
I was looking at everyone's reactions, just everyone's opinions and reading through everything. And then I finally fell asleep at like 5. And then I got a text at 6 in the morning and someone was like, "Dude," they just sent it to me and they're like, "They used your quote." I
Yep.
was like,
I think
"Oh
and I
my
think I sent
god."
it to you too before you
It
had
might have been
even
it
posted
might have
it.
been
Yeah.
I just got like a ton of text. It was almost like, you know, I had a baby that was born without me knowing about it or something. It was like that level of so I woke up 7 in the morning before work and like, oh my God. I was already excited about the movie enough because I loved it. And then, the hype and everything, it just added to that. So
That's such a good feeling too when you
yeah,
get
yeah,
things like that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Because we do put I think it's safe to say people assume this is just a lot of fun. It's a lot of work to do this day in and day out too, on top of, full-time jobs and everything else. So when you get a little reward like that, it's nice at the end of the day. Another thing discussed this week that I think we can talk about here is the writer for Brave and the Bold, who is that's gotten some heat online, Christina Hodson, who wrote Birds of Prey, which is kind of like my. Did you like Birds of Prey? That's kind of like my underground DCEU.
I liked it.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
I was like, and it's one of those. I'm almost like, oh yeah, it was part of that, but I still really enjoyed it.
I did. I remember reviewing it actually. And what's interesting is in terms of being a podcaster, movie reviewer, film critic, or whatever,
Hmm.
strangely enough, that movie didn't do well.
Mm-mm.
But in our top 5 biggest episodes of all time, our review of that movie is there.
That's funny. Go figure.
And I look like once a month just to double check. Did it get dethroned? No, it's still in the
It's
top
still up
5.
there.
It's
That's
still
interesting.
there. And that movie came out, I mean, I can't even remember. I mean, that was pre-COVID, I remember that. Or
Yeah,
around there somewhere. Was it? It was somewhere
18,
around there.
18, 19,
Okay. Yeah.
pre-Suicide
So,
Squad,
and I do remember seeing it in a nearly empty theater as well.
20.
Okay, there
Did
it
it come
is.
out, like, right before everything hit, or was it Oh, yeah, February 7th. It came out right before
That's right.
everything.
So that was actually, now it's funny that you mentioned that. That was the last movie I saw in theaters before COVID, now that I think about it.
I think it was either that or Sonic the Hedgehog, because I think they both came out right at the
Actually,
same
I
time. It
did
was
see
one of
Sonic,
those.
but because I work for Alamo and they let me screen it privately.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, it was around that time frame, and I just remember being like, "This is fun. I like the tone." But, anyways, to her writing and all that, I love that Gunn came out against a lot of the haters in
Mhm.
regard to her writing because, in his perspective, if you're shitting on her writing, you've never read one of her scripts. So, I mean, she had a hand in the Flash. There were many writers on.
Of the 40 or 39, I don't think there
Yeah,
was an even amount of hands there.
true,
But
true.
you and I mean, we have I don't know if you're a we've talked about it. I know you enjoyed it. I don't know if you're a Flash defender or a Flash apologist, and I don't know what the difference between the defender and the apologist would be. I feel like I'm more of an apologist for it.
I think I loved it since I saw it, and
Yeah.
I haven't changed my mind on it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched it when it was in theaters. I watched it a bunch, watched it when Warner Brothers sent me the disc early to watch again.
Mhm.
I just don't find any reason to hate anything about it. Now, let's be very clear about it. If Michael Keaton's Batman were not
Was
in the
not in it.
movie,
I'm
then I
out.
don't know how
Yeah.
I would feel about it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
I feel like I'd
if you
be
remove
a
any
little bit more
element
out.
from any movie, it's hard to
Sure.
really determine how you'd feel about it. But it was, for me, the return. It was like this. I
Yes.
felt the hype again like I did as a kid. And, it was also really cool that I actually saw the first finished version of the movie. Like, I was part of the people that saw it before the world premiere. I got invited
Mhm.
by Warner Brothers to see it at CinemaCon, and it was this huge deal for me. And I got to be in the room. And people will claim that reactions are paid for, or that
Sure.
it's all hoopla, fill in the blank. But I'm telling you, in that room, when I saw the movie, the reactions were genuine. And there's big wigs in there. There's Netflix executives. There's all kinds of people that were there in the room, and they loved the movie. It was pretty much got standing ovation at the end of it. So
Mhm.
I don't really know. There's a lot of back and forth that I've had with people over the years, like what happened. And I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
because when I hosted a screening before it came out, it was the biggest line around the block that I've ever seen.
Really?
It was huge. It was hundreds and hundreds of people there to see the movie for free at an early screening.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened in between that and then when the movie actually came out. It's really, I've never seen that kind of a shift where, like, people all liked the movie, or the majority of people liked the movie. Everyone was talking about it. They were hyped for it. And then, like, all of a sudden it just, like, kind of went away. So,
I
but yeah,
think
I'll always love that movie for sure.
I think the multiverse of it all too, up against, I guess, what people were expecting after seeing No Way Home were
There's always
antici
expectation versus
Right,
reality for sure.
right,
Like, who are we gonna see in this movie?
right.
What's
Who's
gonna
gonna make
be
a
in here?
cameo? Who's gonna Yeah, everybody has to have their boxes ticked. Um, coming out of that something like that.
I mean,
And
I've mentioned in our reviews, our numerous reviews we did when the movie came out, like the things I would have preferred to see or the changes that were made that I didn't care for and such. But the one thing I liked about the movie is it was extremely emotional. And I think that the writing was pretty good for the movie. And uh, I think the hate against Hodgson being involved is kind of unwarranted. Like,
mhm,
and to be very clear, people that aren't screenwriters, people that don't actually know writing are 9 times out of 10 the ones that are like, "The writing's terrible." That's always,
right,
like, to me, a silly
right,
excuse, even in film criticism, like, "Oh, the script is terrible," and sometimes I will say it myself, but I think you kinda have to know a little bit about writing or be a
yes,
little bit more well-versed, but the younger generation is just like, "It's terrible writing." I go, "Why and
yeah,
how?" And
yeah,
explain yourself. Why is it terrible? From what perspective are you bringing this into the conversation? So she is now going to be writing The Brave and the Bold.
yes,
And I'm like totally cool with it. I
I
have
am
no
too.
issue with it,
I'm gonna
you
read
know?
Gunn's quote here. I'll only say, as you just said, paraphrased, I'll only say anyone maligning Christina Hodson's screenwriting skills has almost certainly never read an actual screenplay by Christina. She's one of the writers who was with us early in the DCU planning stages. I don't think you can judge my writing based on films others directed, as massive liberties are sometimes taken. We don't know how many drafts of The Flash there were, but by the time she got
That's
it was
true.
handed to her.
Yeah.
The troubled production of that film, from myriad places, I guess, uh, can be debated and talked about till the end of time, I guess. But judging it on its merit, I'm like you. I couldn't hate something that brought Keaton back. I just couldn't. Um, I had a really hard time with that. I fully expected if we ever did see him again by this point, here at the end of my life, is was a Beyond adaptation, which now they've said was on the table at one point. Was she writing it? Is that what I read?
So I
Pitched
already
it or
knew about this, which is funny because when the news broke recently about her penning Brave and the Bold, I had a few people reach out as if I didn't know this, and, this was news already. This
I
was
thought
already a
so. Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
This was news before Superman was announced, I think,
hmm
or even anything like that when
And
Gunn
this is
first.
separate from the animated thing that got pitched
Yes,
as well.
that's
That
right.
I don't think people understand that either.
Yeah, this is separate. This was gonna be connected to Batgirl in some way.
Right.
She also had her hand in Batgirl.
hmm
So, I mean, this was gonna be part of that. They were gonna bring Keaton back for this. No details have actually surfaced in regards to the script itself. I dig pretty deep. I'm
hmm
pretty deep in the Keaton realm, and I've never heard of anyone actually getting their hands on it after Gunn came in, and I can't really blame him or anything or say it was his choice or decision, but when he came in, it was decided that that was gonna go away.
hmm
So that was part of that deal.
it was. I mean, it like Batgirl and I'd say like the Flash too just hit at a bad time for new leadership for some. It's same way with Superman and Lois on the CW. It was just part of business, as it were, and they all happened to hit at a time where the things went south for some of those titles. It happens, unfortunately. I live for the day that I hope we get to see that Batgirl footage. I don't know that we will,
I
but,
mean, I got in trouble. I got in trouble
yeah,
last year for posting stunt footage.
right.
I'm on my last, I guess, strike with that stuff, so I won't do it
Yeah,
again,
don't do
but
it again.
even the people involved with the movie that have stuff, they've videos, photos,
Mhm.
that's why they're scared. I will say, and I'll say it on air, I have photos from Batgirl no one's ever seen,
Yeah,
that
I
I've
think
seen, that maybe a few people have seen, some costume stuff, some behind the scenes stuff, some stuff that would lead to character connections that I didn't even know were gonna be a thing, and I have those photos. I
yeah,
won't tell anyone where I got them from or not gonna send them to anyone, but I have them, and there is more.
yeah.
So, I'm hoping that I'm talking about being old and I'm aging myself so badly here, but I'm hoping that before I pass on, maybe on my deathbed, someone will be like, here's this photo of Keaton in the suit. You want to see?" But even like I got in trouble for when the directors of the film posted that shot of them, editing the movie and
Right.
just those early edits, and you saw Keaton in the cathedral and that stuff. I
Mhm,
got in trouble for
mhm.
that too, and I'm like, really? Like, anyways,
I think we got a strike. I think I posted the video of them in the alley in front of the
yeah,
Batmobile. I think I posted that and got a strike against it. I was like, they've got it up. Like, why are you
Yeah,
coming
I
for me?
know, or even, like, the video of, like, the flames coming out of the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Batmobile
yeah, yeah.
and everything, so I wish there was more, but I will say, I gotta tell the fans that are listening, and I've said this on our podcast too. Listen, UB probably doesn't have the footage to get a tax break that they got legally. They had to show proof that they
Yeah.
deleted the movie. It's gone. Like, they don't have it just sitting around on the server. It's not like Batman Forever and the Schumacher cut. They didn't have to delete anything. They still have the reels of that because
Right.
there was nothing legal to do with that. They just decided to change the movie so they can still legally own that. But in order to do a tax break and receive the money that they decided to get for the movie, they had to show proof. So
Yeah.
I know people are like, they just have it laying around there. Someone's going to upload it. And I'm like, well, if anyone uploaded anything, it'd be like phone footage or something.
Unless somebody were to have managed to get out with
I
a
mean, if
copy of
someone
it,
was,
which
again, it's entirely possible someone got, the movie on a thumb drive or something,
yeah.
or whatever it may be. So it's possible we'll see an unfinished movie because the movie was not finished.
And I'll be fine with that. If I get to see any of it, I'll be fine
I
with it.
I've said this from day one. I mean, I know what the movie is. I know how
Right.
much Keaton is in it, and I know in terms of the last test screening they had, like, what the movie entailed, like, the certain action sequences that had no CGI at all in them and no score or anything like that, but
Mhm.
it's still a movie I still to this day think, like, it could have worked. You could have finished it, put it on
Absolutely.
streaming, and you know what? The movie would have made them money because people are like, "A Batgirl
Absolutely.
movie? Michael Keaton's in it? Brendan Fraser is an Oscar winner since then? Like, are you
Mhm.
kidding me? He plays Firefly? Why wouldn't I
Yeah.
wanna watch that movie?" The
Yeah.
HBO Max, it doesn't even matter, like, it would have made their money back, so it's
Absolutely. You've
poor
actually got
choice.
Keaton in the Batmobile this time, which was my real number one complaint walking out of The
I know.
Flash.
I know. It's
Um,
like, why even show it? But I guess you
I know.
couldn't show it unless if you're showing the cave, you have to
You
have it.
could not. Yeah, absolutely. But man, and I'm so glad we got the Batwing. I just I hate that we didn't get him in that, but to each their own.
I agree.
And then I think in addition to it's been a lot of flack about Andy still being signed on to direct in the face of the Flash, to direct Brave and the Bold in the face of the Flash with a lot of people on the internet. And I think Andy is an incredibly gifted director. I think he does some amazing concepts that are just not something I would have ever tapped into. And again, I know I know he was at the helm of the Flash, but again, where did that movie come from to where what we got it to by the end? I mean, he was hired to do a job of a film that had so many hands in the pot for so long. At one point it was a buddy cop movie with Cyborg, and
Yeah.
there was all these different iterations of it, and what we ultimately got strayed, a lot of it from that, but giving us a diet version of Flashpoint, I guess, or a Flashpoint Junior kind of thing, but to still be able to weave Keaton into that and
Well, it's why they made the movie. I mean, if
right,
if you talk to Barbara, which I miss those conversations, Barbara, if you ever listen. When the movie was ramping up, like, we were talking all the time. She really
yeah,
cared about what the fans thought, and she'd message me and get my opinion, and when I post about the movie or a poster, she'd message me, and it was really awesome. I really, really enjoyed that, and even when I went to see the movie at CinemaCon, they really wanted to actually, like, hang out and talk and stuff.
mhm,
They as soon as they did their intro for the movie, they had to fly instantly back to Canada because they were already preparing for Welcome to Derry.
which
So they
was
had been
great.
working on that for a while. So to people's points, I saw there was a really quick shift for some people when Welcome to Derry debuted, and a lot of the haters instantly went, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
pretty good. This is pretty
Oh,
good."
we forgot he's actually good at this.
The first It movie I think is brilliant. I think the second one is solid. The second part of the story isn't very good, so he did his best with what he had in terms of
Right.
the actual material. But the guy has an eye for great stuff, and
Mhm.
let's be very fucking clear here. All of the Batman stuff in The Flash rules.
Is the best stuff in the movie, in my opinion. I may be biased, but I think that the best stuff in the film is the Batman action.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah,
there might be a few people out there like, yeah, I kind of like Ezra's. It's whatever. The Ezra stuff is that. I'm going
yeah,
to leave that on the table for what it
yeah.
was. But he knows Batman. He obviously has a passion for the character. And we're talking how much time is going to be in between that and this. And so sure, people are like, "I'd like to have this director instead." This was part of his deal, and I
Right.
guarantee you that when The Flash, they kinda had an indication that it wasn't gonna be this big thing, like, the numbers weren't looking good, the projections and stuff, like, the guy put his heart and soul into the movie. We don't know what the behind the scenes was like. There's even conversations about, like, why didn't Keaton promote the movie?
Yeah.
Except for that one event that he did in the UK when he was doing Beetlejuice. He did, like, outside of talk show stuff prior to that, he did no
Mhm.
interviews. He did no behind the scenes for the Blu-ray or anything like that. He did nothing. So, it might have been a case of just, "We're not doing this.
Yeah.
I don't want my face, it's on the poster, it's in the movie, but I'm gonna kinda step away from this a little bit and hope that doesn't
Well,
hurt
and
it too badly,"
yeah, by
you know?
that point, so many like you said with the Ezra of it all, so many other things had rolled out.
But I think Andy's a great choice, but also, by the time we get to that movie, what else is he going to have done? They're
Right.
talking about doing another It movie, like, they're talking about all these other things, so just don't get, like, that constant hating on him for one movie.
I don't either because I think he's proved his stuff, and I keep using the term here on the show for Brave and the Bold, fantastical, yeah,
Right.
a fantastical Batman, which is not really something, I guess you could argue, Schumacher, but not in the way I think that this is probably gonna go for this Batman, and I think he's a great choice if they I mean, we're about to get a Clayface movie that's supposed to be pretty solid, so I think that if you are going that fantastical route, he's a great guy for that because he does have that weird chemistry that meshes really well on screen for whatever reason, and I think it's a solid fit. Again, like we said, I think the Batman action was solid with Keaton and Flash, and if you've got more of that and not more, I don't know the word I'm trying to think of, Justin, but
Well,
the
we've already seen so many grounded versions of Batman. We had Nolan, and then, of course,
right.
we've got what Reeves is doing, so I'm part of the group that's saying, like, I wanna see Batman doing backflips off the top of a building and,
Mhm.
floating in his cape down and then spin kicking a guy when he gets down to the bottom of the building. I wanna see some wild shit, man. I mean, at this point, like, we can have the best of both worlds. We can have the Reeves verse where it's like,
The world's greatest detective,
yeah,
and yeah, yeah.
we can have something where we have, Robin and a huge rogues gallery and part of the Bat family. And I don't know how far they're going to go with that now. I've heard some rumors they're kind of take a few steps back on that, but we'll see what happens. I just think he has such a huge visionary mind for this kind of stuff, and why not give him the shot, right, man?
Mhm.
He did a journeyman's job with the Flash, whether you loved it, hated it, or whatever. You can't say the movie's devoid of quality. I mean, it's almost like people are think of the second Aquaman movie. James Wan, one of the best horror
Yeah,
directors of all time, made that movie, and people are like, "Yeah, it's a terrible movie."
but they're
That
not coming
didn't
after James.
that doesn't mean he didn't try to make a good movie,
Right.
Directors have slumps. Not every single Spielberg movie is great. Not every single Scorsese movie is great. You could literally pick any of the most iconic directors of all time since the beginning of film and find a few duds, I mean,
Yep.
not every movie is perfect.
Yep, and it Flash ended up being what it is. Again, 10-year-old me, 8-year-old me, whatever. I was enthralled. I mean, I really was. I mean, as soon as they show up at Wayne Manor, I was in. I wish things had gone differently because now I'm also, like, in the pot of I got what I wanted with, Core and Sweat, and we can't have all these overlapping things that aren't working out or working together or working out, but I mean, I would love to see a Beyond. I would love to see him, do something in that vein. Not that I didn't love what he did with Flash, but
I mean,
I think it'd be great.
I think it'd be great, and I'll be the first one to say it, and I've been very vocal about this for years. Batman Beyond came out after I'd already kind of been like, "I'm good,"
Same,
right?
same.
So I wasn't part of animated series was good, the New Adventures, I was even kinda like a little bit like, "This isn't the
Mhm,
same." So after that, I was like, "I'm kinda good." Then when Begins came out, then I started going back a little bit and like, "All right, I'll get back into this stuff a little bit." But Beyond was a different generation's Batman for them.
mhm.
I've always thought it was cool, but it's not Bruce Wayne.
But they take it as scripture. I mean, they
Yeah,
really do.
they do. And for years, almost decades, fans were like, Keaton will come back. He'll be old Bruce Wayne, Batman Beyond. And I was like, no. The only way I want to see him come back is if he puts the suit on and he kicks ass. And for decades, people told me it'll never happen. So I started to think they were right? Even when he got announced as coming back for The Flash, I was like, there's no way they're bringing him back and not putting him in the suit. People still told me I was wrong. Then they put him in the suit. He kicked ass. So we at least got that. And then he was going to do it again in Batgirl. So at that point, if we were going to get Beyond, I would have been like, all right, that's fine. I got what I wanted out of it. Like, he is in his 70s. Let him be the old Bruce Wayne and let's see what they're going to do with this. I'd be open to it for the mere fact that he's coming back again to be a part of it. That he's agreeing to it and to see what kind of movie it would be. I don't even necessarily think it's going to be, straight cartoon to screen. Like, they might have done something more like Blade Runner, where it's a little darker, more murkier, and like not as high tech and flashy. Everyone's saying, "Oh, I'd look like a Schumacher." I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah,
I mean, probably not. Probably not. I will say the budget probably would be extremely high in terms of for production costs and creating that Gotham City and what that would look like, but it would look awesome, I'm sure.
Absolutely, it would. And again, it's Batman. That rarely does badly for Warner when he's in the title, at least.
If it says Batman in the title, I swear to God, if The Flash was called Batman and the Flash, would have done better.
Yeah.
People are like, "What? Why is Batman on that poster?" I'm confused. Okay.
Well, and I briefly mentioned the animated pitch that was kind of in the same vein of Across the Spider-Verse.
That's true. Yeah, that was the thing too.
That looked promising. Again, that's something I think animation works, so great when you sit back and go, it's just not going to work on screen. Like, it's just some things don't. Some things, like you said, the production value of New Gotham, I can't even imagine what that would take, let alone the acrobatics of the new Batman. I mean, stuff like that. So an animated take, I wouldn't be against either. I'd love to hear Keaton voice Bruce in that, especially now with Kevin being gone. But as much as I enjoyed, I'll say it like this: as much as I enjoyed Keaton in The Flash, I hate that was it. Like, I hate knowing that was probably.
Well, he did more. He did a whole other movie.
Well, right. But we're not going to get to see it. So,
he did.
I know.
Yeah. So, but when you ask him, he doesn't.
I forgot about Aquaman. I forgot about
he shot scenes for Aquaman.
Right.
Yeah, he shot scenes for that, and then they brought Affleck back in to refilm those, and so it was a massive clusterfuck at that point. I think he just was excited to do it one more time. He legitimately cared about it. When I went to his Pittsburgh Walk of Fame induction,
that's right, you did,
and then I was invited to the luncheon with him at that speech. That we couldn't take video or anything, so I didn't. He mentioned it. He mentioned it briefly, like to return back to that. It was very brief. It was like half a sentence or whatever, but you can see in his eyes that he cared. He wanted to do it, and he wanted to do it for his grandkids, so they could see their grandpa as Batman. Like,
that's so cool.
His son Sean got to see him as Batman. His son's like a year younger than me, so his son was almost the same age I was when he was Batman for the first time. He was tearing up on stage. I was tearing up just to be two tables away from him, and then to hear his speech during that. So he cared about it. A lot of people thought it was just a paycheck for him. He legitimately wanted to be like, you know what? Everyone talks about this constantly. I want to really do this. Like, he's waiting for the right call. And he knew Tim wasn't ever going to do it again. Tim does not give a shit. I love how people are like, oh, Batman Beyond. If Tim Burton, I'm like, Burton would never have done it, dude. I'm so sorry to tell you. It wouldn't have been him. He does not want anything to do with that. He loves his time in that world for what it was. He's not itching to go back and like.
And if he were to ever go back into the water with that one, it would not be the Batman Beyond you love and hold so dear to your heart.
Yeah, it would not be that. If he were ever to do anything, it would be something drastically, and that'll never happen because, the reins are held by somebody else now. So I think a lot of fans have a hard time accepting that. But so for me, in terms of Flash, just to kind of lay it down, like, I'm just grateful we got it. I'm grateful he got to put the costume on one last time. We got a whole slew of awesome new merchandise from it. And, Wish we got to see Batgirl. I wish we got to see the Beyond with whatever they were going to do with it. I still think it could have coexisted in the world of DC movies with the new stuff that was coming out as well. You know,
Yeah.
we don't make those choices, so we
No,
can
we
just kind of
don't.
dream about it.
We get what we get, and what's the line? "You don't pitch a fit?"
That's true.
People don't understand that. So knowing now what we already pretty much assumed that they were not gonna put Pattinson in the DCU, which I feel like everybody had really strong opinions either way. Yes, that has to happen. Look how cool the 2 of them would look together, the bleakness of Gotham and the hope of Metropolis and all that kinda stuff, and, could see it working, and there's people that's like, "This will never work." I was kind of in the camp of, if you do it, do it. If you don't. Let's just see what happens. Obviously, if you're doing it, you've got a good idea of how to make it work. But I'm not sad that it's not happening either. Where were you at in that debate?
I immediately thought it wasn't gonna happen, so I
Yeah, yeah.
was of the camp that,
I didn't think
no.
I never thought that it would. I just, if it did,
I mean,
I
the
wasn't. I was
imagery
good
when
either
when the
way.
people do, like, the photoshops and stuff, like,
They
as
look
soon as
good.
they do look good, they look great together. I mean, I'm not gonna deny that. I will say, I've never been a big fan of the Batman suit, so
I'm
I was
not
like,
either. I'm not a
if they
huge
were
one.
gonna do it, give him something slightly more,
Mhm.
comic book-ish accurate. I don't like my Batman to look like a SWAT guy. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
I got over it for the movie because I love the Batman. I
yeah.
truly do. It's one of my favorite Batman movies, but he could have done it. It's entirely
Uh-huh.
possible. Like, Pattinson is that diverse of an actor. He
Yes.
could bring it. He could do a more fantastical Batman, but if that's the Batman, right? It's almost being like, "Oh, we could take Christian Bale and
Right,
put him back in a suit and make him." No, I don't think so. I think they have their own clear vision for
right.
what they think it needs to be or what they want it to be per
Yeah.
se, and so let if Reeves has his vision, let those visions, just like comic books, man, let those be separate. Like, there's versions of Batman in the comics that you could pull this one from and put it in this, but it
Mhm.
wouldn't necessarily make sense. Why wouldn't you just write it for that comic that way?
Tailor make it for what you're doing,
Yeah.
for the
So,
story you wanna tell,
and
and not try to pigeonhole it in.
I don't know if we're going to get a third Reeves Batman movie. I'm not sure if it's
Yeah,
in him because, like we were just talking about earlier and joking around about, like, how old are we gonna be? How old is
yeah,
Reeves gonna be?
yeah.
We see his writing process. That's what we were told it was, and I would like to believe that it was really just him trying to get the script right because this is his life. This is what he's trying to present as the best possible Batman sequel. The Batman was a big hit and it was widely received by critics extremely well. So, I mean, the pressure's on, man.
Yeah,
It's like Gunn, I think, just operates in a different way. He is
yeah.
just so good at, like, the guy is just built for it.
Mhm.
Reeves, I think, is just like he wants to settle in and just take his time
And
with
he's
stuff.
so much quieter too. I, when I met him at the Superman premiere last summer.
That's right. You had that picture, and I was
Yeah.
extremely jealous of that.
He was just standing off by himself, and I, like, to the point where I was like,
No one noticed that was just Matt Reeves
"No,
over there, the
I
director of the
never saw
Batman?
anybody walk up to him the entire time." And I'm like, "That is Matt." I mean, he had a scarf and it was 100 degrees and baking on that red carpet, and I was like, "That's gotta be him." So I just walked up to him and I started talking. I mean, he lit right up and spoke to me, and I just said, "I wanna tell you I appreciate your films. I really love what you're doing with Batman." And it was at that point too where I think everybody was like, "Okay, we should start hearing some Batman talk here pretty soon." The emojis and the gifs should start showing up on Twitter any minute now, like the casting decisions. And then nobody had heard from him in a minute. And so I posted that picture and it blew up. Everybody, he's there, he's part of it. And I think that added fuel to the flame too of
Well, it was
the
also a
merger
good
talk.
well, it was a good thing because that proved to people he's not out of the picture. Like,
Right.
a lot of fans were like, "It's not happening now. They're gonna can it and just Gunn's gonna go with his vision." Like, no, it's not. That's not true. So that picture actually that did some good to let people know that,
Hmm.
hey, he's there and he ain't going nowhere.
No.
Like,
And I mean, he was. I mean, I've seen him in interviews and stuff. Had never been in the same room with him or anything. But I mean, yeah, I was just gonna say hello on my way by, and I ended up standing there talking to him for 10, 15 minutes because he was just
oh
very, very
man, that's so
cordial.
amazing. That's so
And
amazing.
I was asking, what my role and what was going on, and I was like, "That's too difficult to explain. I'm just happy to be here."
Well, also,
I'm
I
just
I never actually said this publicly outside of just messages with you, but, like, congrats to you for being able to be at the Superman premiere. I was super excited for you. I tried the best of my ability to
yeah,
be involved with anything, and my response was someone said, like, "So and so that had, like, 1,000,000 views on their TikTok, I couldn't even get them there, so sorry."
yeah. Well,
That's what I got. It was something like that, and I was like, "That's fine, but you definitely deserve to be there," so I
well,
was very
thank
happy
you.
to
I
see you there, man.
I don't know about deserve, but I do not take it
Come
lightly.
on.
I don't take it lightly.
Superman? Come
It's
on.
still very much a pinch me moment, and I owe it all to Robert at Warner Brothers, who sadly passed away in November and is not with us anymore. And he was one of my great friends at Warner Brothers that's been there since I was covering Smallville when it was on back in the day. He was a huge help with that. So I it was horrible to lose him, but I owe that to him that he was able to make that happen for me, and I'll never I will cherish that forever because that was a a day which will live in infamy for me, for sure. I don't know if it'll ever happen again. I don't know if I get go Supergirl or anything like that. I'll be
Come
welcome it if
on,
it
you
does,
got way
but
more super stuff coming your way, like Supergirl,
we
Man of
shall see.
Tomorrow,
We
we'll
shall see.
see.
Man of Tomorrow, man. It's nice to. I mean, I know I'm talking to a Batman fan, but it's nice to live in the Superman world here for a minute, where everything seems to be coming up Superman.
Listen, I love Superman
I know
too,
you
like,
do. I know you
anything
do.
like, I'm all about it. Anything we're gonna get, especially after that first movie, I'm like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what they're gonna do next." So that was literally a shot to my heart, like, "Yes, we're there. I just can't wait to see where we're going with it." So in regard to, like, what happened right before it in terms of those movies and where we're going, like,
Yeah.
I'm in for the ride, like, I like what's happening, and that movie needed to be it for me, so it did the job, so.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Everything I've been told about Supergirl from behind the scenes, I'm so excited for it. I think Millie's gonna absolutely crush that.
Agreed.
Man of Tomorrow is just this big question mark for me right now, which I kind of love. Like, I know
I
some
like it too.
things.
There's a lot of secrecy. There's a lot I'm like, "Wait, you're doing what? You're
Yeah,
doing this? Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay, cool. You're taking a
How
chance." And yeah, that's
very much
exciting.
so. How do you market that? What is it that, title treatment for that look like? What does a teaser poster look like? That kind of thing? Like, it's
I'm
just a
like I'm
very
like
different animal.
I'm like, is Lex gonna be, like, back to back with Superman like
Yeah,
this, like
yeah,
it's a buddy
yeah,
comedy
yeah.
kinda thing? Or like, what are we doing here? But
Bill and
eh
Ted? Like, what
yeah.
how are we approaching this? No, I'm so as much as I am looking forward to Supergirl, just the idea of whatever this is gonna be, especially with the Brainiac of it all, rumors about Maxima, and, if some of the Peacemaker stuff ties into this, like how they're gonna do it, and but again, I keep hearing that name, and which I love. I've always loved that, The Dark Knight, The Man of Tomorrow, like, that kinda thing, and the more I hear it get used, I'm like, I just wanna know what that's gonna look like on a post on a banner or something hanging in the theater, like what how this does get brought to the masses, for them to know that it's a Superman Lex team up movie or however.
Well, I will say this though, the reality of seeing and we talked about this when we did the episode last year, but in terms of the hype for Superman,
Mhm,
the amount of children that I've
mm,
seen Superman shirts
mhm,
and Superman this and backpacks and this and that before the movie and then
mhm.
after the movie and everything, I'm like, it caught on the way it was
Yeah,
supposed to, and
it
I'm
was
really
I mean,
happy
it
that it did.
was the billboard. I mean, it was Supermania. I mean,
Yeah.
to borrow that phrase, but I mean, the picture I forget the name of the marketing company that did them, but the marquee stands, like, the whole like, those pictures were everywhere, like, people, acting like they were holding up the beam
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
David and all of that, like, I think
I never got to
everything.
see one of those.
Did you not?
Our theaters didn't get those. Nowhere here at
I
all. I
tried
went
so
everywhere.
hard to get one. I literally called the company and was like, "Look, what do I have to do to get one of these?" And she was like, "We didn't keep any. We sent them all out. Like, we don't have any here left." And I'm like, "Recall one for me." And if anybody can track one down, I think it's you.
Well, man, I mean, for me, I wanted that bus shelter poster
Yeah.
of that amazing artwork, and I kept messaging people, got a hold of a few of the companies like the Mondos and the Battle.net
Mhm.
galleries, and not to name names, but I was like, "You need to release
Mhm.
this poster, like that poster." I was like, "I'll pay," because at the time, there were only a few on eBay, and people wanted like $1,000 for that, and I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
not even gonna display it. I just want it at that size.
At this
But I'm
point.
hearing there's a new poster coming out next week though. I
From
saw.
Bottleneck. I
Yep,
saw
that's
it
right.
today. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
is it next week or is it tomorrow? I thought I saw it
Is
was a
it
Friday
tomorrow? It
drop.
might be tomorrow.
It
It
may
might
be
be tomorrow.
tomorrow, and it
Okay.
looks good.
I just saw
It's
the
also
screenshot. Yeah.
it's also one of my favorite promo images of David that was not really used for anything. It was from a magazine shoot, and it was in black and white. So it's that, that shot of him with his arms folded and the cape
That's right.
to
Okay.
the
So
side,
you know
kinda.
better than I, but I just saw it was coming
Yeah,
soon,
yeah.
and so we'll see.
I've got a video I have not edited yet, but I've been buying from Bottleneck and Mondo for, you know, as long as I can remember. My first Mondo print ever is one I did get matted and framed. It's a Fortress of Solitude print from, like, 2009, I think was for the first time I ever bought from Mondo. But I did a reel last week of all the Bottleneck Superman prints that came out last year because I bought them all, and I haven't sat down to edit it, but I'm also like, "Alright,
But to my point though, still, that bus shelter poster, not released officially
nope."
outside of just that though.
You talking about the one where he's looking over his back?
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like
yeah.
he's returned or
With the
something
with
like
the
that?
with
Yeah.
the black frame around it
Yep.
or what, oh
Yep.
my god, I'm
Yeah.
like, and it just immediately brought me back
Oh,
to.
you mean this guy? Is that the one you're
Yes.
talking about? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another Bottleneck gallery. This is acrylic. I don't know if you can tell, but it's all three-dimensional.
Wait, what the hell? When did they I didn't see that anywhere. What the hell?
Right before Christmas, I think.
Oh
It
my
is
god.
thick. It's a thick boy, but
Oh.
yeah, he's popping out of it. It's kinda hard to
Oh my
tell, but
god.
it's
Okay,
yeah,
now I
it's
feel
all
silly that I did
three-dimensional.
not they must have not sent me that email, those bastards.
Oh, yeah. He had a good time. No, there's one that never got that they didn't even market it except for I saw it on some buildings, in LA, but they were the big banners, and it's like, oh, I think it was when it came to HBO Max. It was a new image of him, like, looking over his back, like, with the yellow on the shield and everything, and it said, like, "He's returned," and it had, like, HBO Max at the bottom. I was like, "That's one of the coolest posters you put out," like,
I
that
didn't
should have
even
been the
see that
teaser
one, I'll have to look
poster.
that up,
I'll have
okay.
to find it for you. It was really good, and I was like, "Why did you not put this out on anything?"
But now that I know that that one's out from Bottleneck that I
Mhm.
apparently because I get their emails, man, I bought from them a bunch of times, so,
When that happened, it was that, and
um,
there was a crypto one, which I got over here, and like 2 or 3 things. I threw money and I did, but it's just here, investment. And then it's like, where am I gonna put it? There's no wall space left.
same, I have n w
Nowhere.
I don't know where I'd put it either, but I want
I
it though.
really wanna get one of the we've gone to poster talk. I really wanna get one of those Walmart, how the old dinky post like, we used to get posters as a kids, those slide things. I'm almost like,
Yeah,
I think I could fit one of those in here, and then you could get, like, 20 posters in that. There's, like, 10 slides and front and back. Surely I could make something work.
absolutely.
It's just for me and my own amusement, but, whatever. Justin, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Of
We
course.
won't make it almost a year again before you come back again
I love to come
next
back.
time.
Usually, because our show, we talk Batman once in a while. I'll put
Yeah,
in Superman if there's a new Superman movie or whatever I feel like doing, but 9 times out of 10, we're talking about horror movies or
right.
thriller movies or movies where people are getting dismembered and injured
Sure.
in bad ways and such, but yeah, it's always a blast.
Speaking of, I was very proud of you for the Scream mention the other day.
Yeah, that was,
Your shot of the billboard that got reposted by the official
a
Scream
friend
account,
yeah, a friend from LA that's been on the show a couple times was just driving around LA
as
and
you
was
do.
like, "Hey, look at this." And I was like, "Dude, can I post that?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, go ahead." I was
Yeah.
just, like, driving to work or something, and then I was like, "Holy shit," like, posted it, it went viral, and it actually went viral to the point where it was trending on Twitter, like,
Mhm.
"Scream billboard makes what." I was like, "Wow, okay,
Nicely
cool,
done. Nicely
cool,"
done.
you
I know
know?
you're excited for that. I'm excited for that as well.
I'm very excited for it. I know very little except for a few of my friends have read the script. They know the
Mhm.
whole thing,
Mhm.
so I don't know any spoilers. Into those really big jerks on social media trying to ruin the movie for people because of their
Yeah.
political beliefs. Not cool, man. Like, listen, some people don't know anything about that stuff with the
What happened
studio
there? Yeah.
or anything at all. Like, don't seriously, like, some people don't know about that. Why would you try to ruin
Right.
a movie for like complete strangers.
Well, and that's one thing I mean, people are like, "Oh, well, the movie's the 3 stars and the director and the writer." And I'm like, "Man, you have no idea how many people were employed by this production that, you know, that's
And
their paycheck."
for some people too, like thinking about your love of Superman or any other
Yeah.
franchise, like this is their life, man. Like
Mhm.
this is what they're so excited for this. Why would you put something on social media or somewhere where people could see to ruin that experience for them? You don't even know that person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's be kinder. I mean, we're in a world right now, like that's why we need Core and Sweat Superman. That's why I love that interpretation. Be kind.
Yeah.
Be nicer to people. We really need it right now. We
Absolutely.
just want to be happy and enjoy the things we love. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I appreciate the props on that. Again, it was a random thing, but I'm usually pretty keen on understanding how these things work. And I'm like, oh, a billboard that no one else has posted yet. I'm sure people are gonna
Right.
like that.
Yeah, that'll
Didn't know
we'll
it was gonna
latch
be as
onto
big
that
as it
real quick.
was, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anytime the official account comes out in your favor too, I was like,
well, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll be in LA for that premiere. I don't know.
I
I
should
already
hope so.
tried.
I should hope so. If anybody should, it should be you. Tell our listeners where they can find you.
At Epic Film Guys, our podcast is available every single place known to man, and of course on every single social media platform known to man. And of course, you want me to mention the Burton Batcave, which
Feel like you
my
must.
friends, like to consider the definitive Michael Keaton, Tim Burton Batman page anywhere.
Mhm.
It's been voted against at other pages and stuff, and people have said you're the number one. So
I agree.
yeah,
And I don't like it when I see people take your content. I don't like when people take our content, but I've seen that happen more often with you, and I don't like that. So,
yeah. I mean, it does happen, and apparently we're just in that place and time where people just want to grab stuff and
yeah,
but everything on that my page, I put a lot of effort in and
you do. You really
a lot
do,
of
and
the
I have to.
photos I retouch,
Mhm.
lots of things. So there's
Yeah,
a lot of effort that goes into that on top of what my normal job and Epic Film Guys, but I think that the movies deserve it.
yeah,
So
I
the
agree.
fans that see they enjoy it. So
They do. I think you do. I consider you and I curators of this stuff more often than not. When we go to the links we do to put it out there to the masses. But I do have to give you props for that because that is one of
thank
my
you.
favorite things I look at daily is Burton Batcave. So check that out on Instagram, and thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah, and as for us, you can find us wherever you do your social media at Super House of L, and of course, you can find the House of L podcast wherever you listen. You follow us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, wherever you do that. Junk, and we would not junk, but you know what I mean. And wherever you listen to that junk out there, listen to the House of L
Oh, junk,
instead.
yeah.
And of course, online, Super House of L. Back soon with another Smallville episode. We'll have lots to talk about, celebrating the 25th anniversary of Smallville this year, all year long, because I needed a reason to feel older. So,
I know, right?
yeah,
Seriously.
it's ancient.
Next thing you know, it'll be the 30th anniversary and 35th
Oh,
anniversary, and you'll still
God.
be on here like, here we go again.
You know, Smallville I'll say this in closing. That didn't get me as bad. It was like 25 years. That makes sense. 2001, 2026. But then I was like, well, now wait a minute. If it's the 25th anniversary of Smallville, that means it's the 20th anniversary of Superman Returns. And for some reason, that made my bones
But
sound brittle.
the key question is Warner Brothers going to release a 4K Ultra HD? If they don't, they're going to have a problem.
I have sent every email known to man. I have.
I know. I know.
Yeah, I can't.
The fans want it.
start to-
They will buy it. Even the people that don't like the movie will buy it. I promise you.
I know, and I mean, at the very least, you could manufacture on demand as like
Something.
something. I mean, that film deserves a 4K, and
Well, I'll
this
say
is the
this
year
much.
to do it.
Whether it's on your show or I bring you on my show for an anniversary episode about that one, it's going to happen because I've got lots to say about it.
You make me nervous, but okay,
No.
okay.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I was like, wait, does he like Returns or does he hate Returns? I can't remember.
I've got a whole box of unopened Superman Returns action figures and toys in my basement right over
Nice.
near here. So
Nice.
we can talk about it.
We can talk. Yeah, we can
But
talk.
thanks again, man. Seriously, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. We'll see you guys next time.